I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Laying out a plan for the workshop. The lathe bench is 126.5 inches long. By 29.5 inches deep. Woodworking bench is 46 inches wide. And about 23.5 across the top. Deep. I made it that size so it could come down here in the workshop. I could carry it up and down the stairway without having too much trouble. I can disassemble the whole thing into pieces. This bench over here, which is one of the larger ones, is 115 inches long. And it is the deepest bench, which I have since determined was probably not the best move. It's 35 inches deep. It's a little hard to reach back and get something off the back of the workbench. Now, so to make things a little easier for myself, these benches were all put together with screws. The base is glued together, but the deck and the verticals are all just either bolted together as in the lathe bench, or they're screwed together as in this bench. So I should be able to disassemble all these benches and get them out to the workshop. Now I have 3 walls that are 24 foot long with 2 4-foot wings on each end of the main door. So by the time I take 2 10-footers and the 10-footer that is out in the garage and put those into the workshop, I'll still have a lot of wall space left. I'm thinking that I want to put racking up over the top of this. Now there is a problem. The racking only goes, I believe, 8 feet wide. I got to double check that. So I will have a vertical upright in the center of this bench. That's okay. The shelving is only 2 feet deep, so I should be able to put it right on top of the bench without any trouble. The woodworking bench will slide in underneath one of the verticals, one of the shelving units, quite handily. And then I can do the same thing on this one. I might just cut this one in half right in the middle and separate it into 2 pieces that I can put it in a corner. Might be a better use of the space. So it's just some preliminary planning, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I do like having the pegboard somewhat. I much prefer having the tool wall. Tool wall is more solid. It holds things better. Seems to work better for me. So we're going to be making some changes and choices, but all this stuff has to go out into the big workshop, and that means it's got to be disassembled and moved. Well, the radial arm saw is 4 feet wide and it is 41 inches out from the wall. Have to provide clearance for the operation of the thing in the back there. The mechanical bench is 8 feet 3 inches long and extends out 23.5 inches from the wall. Now you throw in there another 3 feet for the air compressor. Which would be inside temporarily. I intend to have that outside the building so it's not pounding away in there while I'm working. But it's going to require 3 feet of clearance just to have it sitting inside the building so I can use it. The planer takes up about 24 inches in width. And 34 and about 36 inches overall away from the wall. Then you go to the welders. The small welder stand is about 34 inches overall length, but it's only just about 18 inches wide. And the miller is a nice petite 18 inches square. So that won't take up a lot of space. The potting bench stays here in the garage. I do have the vise bench here, which you can barely see. This table saw, that's going to be sitting on wheels so that it can roll back and forth. The forge, buried here under a pile of stuff, is going to be sitting underneath the lean-to roof. I'm not going to be using it inside the building. I don't want to have a coal fire going inside there with all the flammables. Then I have a sandblaster here, and there's another forge sitting over there that's actually going to be going to Ryan's house. I have the bandsaw, the big wood bandsaw, 14-inch bandsaw. Then I have the horizontal sheet metal, or the horizontal metal saw, bandsaw, and the Foley saw sharpener over there, and then I have a saw sharpening grinder over in the corner. So I'm going to be using up quite a bit of wall space. I do have a big set of cabinets over there that I'm going to be storing oil and the other things in it that I've got in it now. And the file cabinet holds various and sundry bits and pieces. Now all these shelves really are tiny. When I put up one of those shelves from Menards, it takes up it'll hold everything that's on that shelf. Plus everything that's on top of the workbench, and the radial arm saw, and everything that's in this room. So, by the time I get done with this thing, I'll probably have very little wall space left, but I've got an awful lot of stuff. The only thing I'd like to leave room for is a milling machine. If I can do that, I will be happy. So if I can manage all this stuff, tuck it in there and make it work, between the belt sanders and the snow blowers and dust collectors, and of course boat motors. But a lot of this stuff is just not going to be around. A lot of this is just piled up crap. Like that's a big empty cardboard box over there. There's a lot of the stuff up on the shelf up there that is going to go on the shelves in the workshop. Since this is an 8-foot ceiling in this room, and I have 10 foot of ceiling in the other building, and I have racks going up on the walls all the way up, I will be able to store much, much more stuff. Going to be needing to get a ladder in and out just to get to it, but I'll be able to store it over there and use it. Any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.